The Vikings game today was extremely intense. The Commanders had won three in a row prior. The Vikings are now 6-0 in one-score games this season, which is remarkable. If you look at their average win margin, it's 5.5 points. This will allow the Vikings to compete with anyone because in close game situations, they have the playmakers who are going to go out there and make plays. Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Harrison Smith. The boys showed up today. Kirk Cousins led some key third down completions. I didn't think Kirk played his best, 22 of 40 for 265 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. That interception was in the red zone to end the first half, which wasn't exactly ideal. But the Vikings season honestly comes down to Kirk Cousins. He doesn't have to be an elite level quarterback, but Kirk cannot lose them games. He can't be missing throws, and he has to take chances, especially to when it's Justin Jefferson. Remember the game before that where Jefferson had that huge catch on third down? So when you see more of a vintage aggressive Kirk Cousins. He's got the talent around him. The Vikings defense has been playing better. They did a good job today against the Commanders. Like even to start the third quarter, guys, on that huge like 65-yard touchdown, the only reason that ball was caught for a touchdown was because a player in the secondary on that ran into an official. If he doesn't do that, that's an interception or at least an incompletion. So, but give credit to the Vikings. They're down 17-7 going into the fourth quarter, and then what do? They scored 13 unanswered points. I really like this Vikings team a lot, and I keep hearing about how they're going to regress, about how there's some other teams better than them in the NFC. The truth is, the Vikings haven't played complete level football games. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why they've been in one-score games and why they have won some games that maybe they shouldn't have. But I don't think we've seen the best version of the Vikings. It's still early. We're basically entering the second half right now, which means that we're only going to see better football from the Vikings as they get healthier and as, of course, they get the schemes down. I mean, to this point late in the season, you should have the schemes down nearly 100%, but the truth is the Vikings have a whole new coaching staff. So for Kirk, he's got to continue to hit his guys. TJ Hockenson was fantastic today, showed exactly why the Vikings went out and got him. He had a great game, especially in the first drive. I mean, he caught a 19-yard pass, which was cool, but for the game entirely, I'm looking at 9 catches for 70 yards. Hockenson just gives the Vikings something that they haven't had all season, and that is a threat at the tight end position. Both Irv Smith and, well, technically Irv Smith wasn't even the starter, but both tight ends on the Vikings really were not productive to say the least. So to go out and bring in basically a Pro Bowl level tight end in his prime, who has been one of the most consistent tight ends in the league, it just gives a different dynamic to the Vikings. But the main thing in this game was just simply the playmakers. As I mentioned, Harrison Smith has 4 interceptions on the year. He made a huge one today, and then 2 plays later, Kirk Cousins found Dalvin Cook on a 12-yard touchdown pass, which tied up the game. Justin Jefferson, of course, the first drive, he caught a touchdown pass from Kirk. Jefferson, that was his first touchdown since the first week of the season. So to see these guys show up when it matters most and show up in big situations, it is very good for the Vikings moving forward because things only get more difficult for them. They're traveling over to Western New York next week, guys, to take on the Buffalo Bills. After that, they're playing the Dallas Cowboys, 2 teams that you could debate are better than them. So we're going to get a good glimpse of who the Vikings really are within the next few weeks. Being 7-1 is fantastic. Having a 5.5 win margin when being 7-1, I don't know how you should look at that. Is that good or bad? Is it good or bad playing in one-possession games, one-score games every single week? I guess we'll find out. But if you guys haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can also find me over at my brand new one called Daily Vikings, where I cover only strictly the Vikings. So yeah, if that's your type of content, you're in the right place, man. I upload NFL every single day on Swaggy. I upload a few times a week over at Daily Vikings. So let's get into the rest of the video. Honestly, the Vikings, they did do a lot of punting, especially in the first half. Like, they had that touchdown, but then it was punt after punt after punt, and then Kirk threw an interception in the red zone. They also started off the second half with a huge Curtis Samuel touchdown. So it wasn't the greatest. Like, Kirk completed 22 of 40 passes, which is not what you're looking for. You want to see Kirk being above at least 58, 60%. But I guess, actually, so that would be 55. That's actually not even that bad. But, I mean, I'd like to see Kirk get up to like 58, 63%, that type of territory. It was good to see Kirk take some shots. That's something that, like I said, not of alcohol, but to take some shots down the field. And he did that to Jefferson. I forget the exact number, but it was a 42, 43, 44-yard catch for Jefferson in this game. And that's the type of Kirk that we need to see, where it's like Justin Jefferson's out there. I'm not saying to force it, but I mean, I guess I am. Sometimes you have to force it to Justin Jefferson, not every single play, but if you're on a 3rd and 7 like the Vikings were in this game at one point and it looked like they were about to stall again, hey, hit Justin Jefferson. Even if, sometimes Jefferson's going to be double covered, and sometimes that's still your best option. I mean, you've got to get it to your playmakers. I mean, Adam Thielen, he's not a bad receiver, but he is slowing down. He is regressing. KJ Osborne's okay. But you've got Justin Jefferson, you've got TJ Hockenson, Dalvin Cook. The ball needs to be in these guys' hands if the Vikings want to have a chance this season. And at 7-1, that's exactly what they've been doing. All of these wins have basically solely been on playmakers. I mean, there's still concerns with the Vikings roster on defense. I don't have any concerns offensively, but defensively, I mean, obviously the secondary isn't the greatest. It's going to be tested against Josh Allen. If the Vikings secondary on the road can step up and make it tough on Josh Allen. Obviously, the pass rush is the thing though. Like, the Vikings are going to have to get to Josh Allen, because it doesn't matter if you have the best secondary in football. If you're not getting to Josh Allen and he's not under duress all game, he's going to destroy you. Like the Jets, why did the Jets beat the Bills today? Sure, they've got a stout secondary, but also they can get to Josh Allen, and that's exactly what happened at the end of that game. If you guys saw it, Josh Allen was stripped, and it resulted in a massive loss. And even though it was like a 3rd and 30, I mean, it was Gabe Davis was in a one-on-one situation, and that ball hit him in the chest. It just was really tight coverage. So I can't wait to see the Vikings play the Bills. Normally, I have the Vikings on my monitor, and then I have Red Zone on another monitor. I did give the Vikings game today a lot more attention than normally. It's hard to watch all these games, but like Vikings-Bills, without a doubt, will be my main attention over Red Zone, just because I want to see how the Vikings perform. I don't think it's fair to say that they have to win the game going into a pissed-off Buffalo team that's going to come out aggressive. But can the Vikings run with the Bills? Because the Bills like to throw the ball. They have an elite defense all around. And give credit to the Jets for running the football, for Garrett Wilson doing his thing, Zach Wilson making plays. This is a huge test for the Vikings, and we'll get a good glimpse of who they are in this game. But Greg Joseph, he kicked a 22-yard field goal to take the lead. But then Washington, guys, they had a personal foul penalty, and that allowed the Vikings to go to the 2-yard line with a fresh set of downs, which they didn't score, obviously, but they were able to run the clock, and then Greg Joseph would kick a 26-yard field goal to give the Vikings 6 straight wins. Against the Bills, what needs to happen, in my opinion, is Kirk Cousins needs to be efficient. He can't turn it over. Honestly, let me know if you guys agree. This isn't in my notes, but this is at the top of my head. Like, I don't think Kirk can throw one interception. If Kirk has an interception, I just don't see how the Vikings are going to win. They can't be giving the ball. They can't be giving points away. Now, I'm not saying Kirk has to throw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's not what I'm saying. But, hey, Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdowns, 285 yards in the air, 60 completion percentage. Dalvin Cook, get him going early. Justin Jefferson, make plays. Obviously, the defense, the pass rush. I'm looking at Zadarius Smith. I'm looking at Danielle Hunter. And obviously this front, getting home. And Patrick Peterson, make a play. It's a 4th and 6. The Bills are going for it. The Vikings get a stop here. They secure a road win in Buffalo, Western New York. Patrick Peterson makes an incredible play, deflection. I don't know who he'd be matched up with. He's not in the slot, so he wouldn't be up against. Diggs plays a lot of the slot, though. I don't have that type of football knowledge to be able to say matchups, but I think Diggs is probably going to play a lot in the slot, which means that Peterson wouldn't be on Diggs, but I guess he. So that's kind of the thing, is how do they match up? I can't wait to start reading articles and dive into how the matchups are going to work. But yeah, I'm already talking about next week. I can't wait for football next week. Literally, it's Sunday night when I'm recording this. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. Hopefully you have a good one. It's your boy Swaggy. You can also find me over at Daily Vikings, and I'll see you later.